If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
Alright, so far I've been using this Cinder grill for, this is my second day using the Cinder grill. And by the way, yesterday, if I haven't mentioned it already, the first steak I ever made on this grill was absolutely perfect. It was a 1¼ inch thick ribeye steak that I cooked 2 of them, and it took a little under an hour, but I let them cook a whole hour at that 130 degrees. I didn't realize it was letting me know they were done. I don't know how it lets you know they're done, if it's based on the timer or if it's based on sensing the temperature of the food itself somehow. But this thing is supposed to be pretty accurate at knowing that. I just want to find out how it works. Meanwhile, I've already cooked this food to 129 degrees. It barely looks like it's cooked at all. So we'll see how that goes. I'm fixing to sear it now. I'm heating this up to sear. Now what I'm going to try to do this time is to cook the sides in the sear feature as well by holding it in with the tongs. I don't know if that's smart or not, but I want to see if I can pan sear those sides, or at least just set it on one side to sear it on the pan before I put it down between the plates. We'll see how it goes. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to try it this way first. I don't know if pushing it makes much difference, but it feels like it does. Adds a little bit of weight to it, like putting a weight on top of a grill. So let's find out. I'm going to go for a solid minute here for a long sear. There's the 45-second mark. Actually, I'm going to see if this goes off again after another 45 seconds, so we'll go a minute and a half. Alright, it does not beep again, it just keeps going. Pan sear feature. Alright, let's turn this off. Just hit the off button, I reckon. So there we go with a pan seared. And I could still take a little bit of heat here, because I like to get that fat nice and crispy. Here we go. You see it came out perfectly medium rare. It's delicious. Needs a little more salt. There, now we're not cooking with Crisco. You know, it's funny, that's an old saying I used to hear. I guess it was a commercial. But whenever things were going good, I always used to say, now we're cooking with Crisco. Seriously, I don't want to do that. Yeah, now we're cooking with cottonseed oil. Gross. Well, in my second day and my third attempt at using the Cinder grill, I gotta say that this is the softest meat. As far as it doesn't affect my teeth badly. It cooks like sous vide, but you don't have to use plastic all the time. Of course, with sous vide you can do a lot more at once. The Cinder grill has a very small cook area. I'd want to have 2 of the Cinder grills so that I could cook more steak at once. Or if they could make one that had a dual top, you know, like 2 openings built into it so that it was 1 unit, maybe it would be less expensive or something like that. But and it would only use 1 plug. Good evening, y'all. I tell you, it is so much cooler going for a walk when the sun is way down low in the sky. I started when it was a little bit up, but it was such a cooler walk this evening than it was yesterday. That's why I'm not drenched with sweat. But I got my squats in, as you can see here or wherever I wind up putting it. Got in my 100 squats for my 7th day in a row. Just really enjoying this new challenge and the opportunity to stretch my body a little further into areas that I haven't been in a long time, making me feel like a teenager in my late 40s. You can't beat it. You know, but I watched a video today that I realized that I might be remiss in telling you guys about this thing that I think I've talked to you about it some, but because it hasn't really affected me throughout my diet, I haven't really thought much about it. But I have given it a little bit of lip service. But after watching the video that I've linked in the description about oxalates and oxalate toxicity and oxalate dumping, I am blessed that I didn't have any serious issues with oxalate toxicity. Now, part of that is probably because I didn't do a lot of vegetables to begin with. I was just eating a lot of processed garbage for the most part, and fast food. I was leaving the bread off my fast food most of the time, but still it was a sporadic diet. And I wasn't eating a lot of vegetables, which have a lot of oxalates, and some of them have more than others. But the video goes into a lot more detail on that than I can, because I really don't have any experience in speaking to oxalates. But from what I gleaned from watching this video, and also from comments of an occasional rare person who tells me they started doing this diet because of what I've said about the diet, that they tell me that they're having a hard time, or they're feeling sluggish, or they're not feeling good at all, or they're having some kind of reaction. That video may be the answer to that situation. And if you are taking in a lot of vegetables that have a lot of oxalates in them, you may not want to go cold turkey on Lion Diet the way I did. Just started, boom, and that was all I ever did ever since then. You might want to slowly take some of this stuff out of your diet, which really requires a lot of discipline. That I know is hard enough to do a cold turkey diet, but when you start mixing and matching, you feel like you're not making any progress. But you definitely don't want to have any negative issues like these people had in the video that I watched. So as much as I'm excited about the way that I've benefited from this diet without ever doing any precautions for oxalates, it might be something you might want to look into, because I'd hate for somebody to get sick or ill because I didn't point out something that might have been important to you. So I started my walk late. I always forget to turn my meter on when I start walking. Not always, but enough to be frustrating with tracking these things. But anyway, I did want to talk to you about the oxalate dumping, and I wanted to tell you about how good it's been doing this diet and doing it with work and everything else. But today was really, I had to really press to get everything done today, to get out the video for yesterday, and trying to put this one together for today, and trying to wrap up my day with work, and trying to deal with some problems that came up at home. Oh my gosh, there's always so much to do in a day. It's really hard to fit in the exercise unless you're making it a priority. And I have made this a priority. Everything stops when it's time to go exercise before the sun goes down. If I can get it in early, I get it in early. But I plan, if I'm going to miss it in the morning, I'm planning to do it that evening. So you don't let it go. And you may notice on some of my videos that if you're counting the number of squats I'm doing, sometimes I have to cut the video off short because I have to squeeze it all into one overall video track, and it's hard to do the timing perfectly, let's just say. But I'm getting in my 100, or got in my 100 today, as you can see there. But when you get to the last one, I found that if I stood on the edge of the shoulder and it lifted up my heels, it made it a lot easier to get that low squat I was looking for. So I think somebody mentioned something about putting a board under your heels in the comments too. So that's what came to my mind, is I really felt that. I don't carry a board around when I go walking, so I haven't thought about it till just now. But when you see that last set of squats, you might notice my heels are a little lifted. I can't really tell right now, but hopefully I got a nice deep squat on those, because it felt deeper. But this squats challenge is working out real good. I'm 7 days in, or is it 8 days? 7 days. 7 days in, 1 week down. 23 to go. I can't do math when I'm tired like this day. Has put me through so much. But 23 more to go. Y'all hang in there. I'll see you next time. Oh, and I may be interjecting this in a strange place in the video, where it seems to be a strange place in the video, because I just recorded everything and remembered I forgot to tell you about the food I ate today. This morning I had the best steak. I actually got it seared on the sides too, by putting it down on the side edge of the meat. You'll see it in the picture here, or in the cutaway if I do a cutaway, who knows. But anyway, you'll see that right here, that the sear came out. The sear came out perfect. The meat was cooked perfect. It was just awesome. However, my supper tonight, I already had a little bit of it because my schedule is bananas today. But I'll talk about that more, or I've already talked about that in the video, one or the other. But anyway, my schedule was bananas, so I got it made. And the first time I thought I had made the burger, I used the app for the first time on hamburger setting. And when it told me it was done, I went back and it was still raw, as if I just put it in there, and cold. So I don't know what happened. So I manually set it to the temperature for medium well for a burger, and came back a half hour late even to find it cooked, but it just didn't seem as done as it should have been. So this app just notified me that my food was ready. I come out here, it hasn't cooked at all. I don't know what happened there. And I tried to get the app to redo the hamburger just like I did before, but it kept telling me to wait for the grill to cool down. It was already cool, to the touch even. And so I just set it to 144 degrees and I'm letting it go. And I'm gonna watch it for another 15 minutes and see how it does. I don't know what else to do. So I'm probably gonna try the well done setting on the hamburger on the Cinder grill the next time. Because even though it was good, it was just a little too mushy feeling. So we'll keep trying with those. I don't really know if that's the best way to do a hamburger on this grill, but we'll figure it out as we go.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?